and welcome to another episode of the Breaking Conservatarian broadcast with your favorite conservatarian, Jeff Charles. And I've got another fire guest for you guys today. He hails from North Charleston. He is a co-founder of the North Charleston Community Resource Center. It is Mr. Shakem Amen Akhet. How you doing, brother?
Yes, sir. Man, I'm feeling wonderful, brother. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. It's nice Friday evenings, and I'm ready to have some good conversation. And I've been having a lot of good conversations since I started doing interviews. So I'm excited. You know, I'm especially excited about this one. We've talked before, but I want to get a little bit deeper into some of the things that you're doing there. But first, but first, if you could just tell us a little bit about Shakem and your background and all that good stuff.
Yes, sir, brother. Well, my name is Shakem Amen Akhet. You know, some might know me by my government name, Jonathan. I'm the co-founder of Community Resource Center, North Charleston. I've been doing community work for decades, man, here in the area. We do a lot of mentoring, financial literacy. I just started a boxing program here. I got a wonderful trainer from the area named Carlos Johnson. Brother's been training for a long time. So we got all that hooked up. I'm gonna show you kind of like what we got. We run an after-school program. Actually, it's gonna be a day school here shortly, inshallah, if everything goes correct. But we have that all in the working now. We do operate a food bank here. We've been doing astronomical numbers, especially since COVID-19 actually picked up and people started losing their jobs and things of that nature. We've been able to move probably 35 to 40 tons twice a week in the community, helping families out. Man, it's been a wonderful, wonderful thing, man. We'll provide you with our website address so you can kind of look in depth and in detail to kind of see what we do. We also have a Dress to Success program, sisters and brothers coming out of the penitentiary, coming out of regular county jail. They need clothes. We have a lot of professional clothing, dress clothes. We provide that to them. I got a computer lab so you can do job searches. And we got a litany of things here. It was something that I actually thought about when I was incarcerated. And I wanted to really give back to the community. We sometimes don't understand that the communities that we negatively impacted at a certain point in our life, it's imperative that we owe the community to clean it up. And that's kind of like the vision and the goal that I had coming out of prison. And I said, you know what, I'm going to be a pillar in the community to help the community instead of being an adversary to the community.
That's powerful. That's powerful. And you mentioned that you were moving 40 tons. Are you talking about 40 tons of food or?
Food, yes, sir. Food, okay. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So let me ask you, I don't think I've asked you this before, but are there other people who do work at the resource center who were previously incarcerated or?
No. So basically right now we operate on a volunteer basis. And a lot of times we have the young boys in the community. I pay them a couple dollars, kind of put some money in their pocket to help us do various things, whether it's clean up, whether it's help move boxes or hand out food and things of that nature. So a lot of the job opportunities here, I actually give to a lot of the young women and men in the community who don't have it, because we're kind of like right in, a impoverished area. So, our whole goal and our mindset is to create opportunity. So that's one way that I create opportunity.
Yeah, what I like about it is that programs like yours, I mean, you help to prevent crime, basically. I mean, you help keep people from going to jail and getting involved in that life. And that's one of the reasons why I always want to highlight what you do there, because it's very important. It's easy to just look at the fact that you're helping people who are needy, and that's all great, but it's even bigger than that, because when we talk about like mass incarceration, when we talk about crime, we usually only think of the police, but the police are there for after the crime happens. But people like you are on the vanguard there, helping to make sure that people don't get into that life.
Correct. Absolutely. So one of the things we wanted to do was focus on like a three-prong attack. So the individuals, the young children who haven't gotten any trouble yet, we don't want them to get in trouble. Prevention is the biggest thing that's going to help with changing the lives or changing the I would say, changing the dynamics of our community. If we can stop it before it happens, that's the ultimate goal. From there, if people are in trouble or have been in trouble, we let people come do community service. You know, I do have a wonderful relationship with the district attorney here. So, you know, if, and just, you know, people in general who are in law enforcement, so if anything ever does occur, we can intervene and say, hey, you know what, let the children do the community service here. You know, we can work with that. And then we have a system to where when you get out, we can try to combat recidivism. So you can come, you can get new clothes, you can get on the computer, you can do resume writing, I mean, all type of things. So we wanted to say, you know, we have the preventive services, we have services when a person is currently in the system and we want to help them get out. Then we have the anti-recidivism services to where if you get out, we can try to help you stay out through providing you with skills, some sort of teaching and training that will allow you to be able to, you know, keep your butt out of jail.
Right. And it's funny, it's like you're reading my mind. You're actually touching on some of the things I'm going to ask you a little bit later in this conversation, because all that stuff is important. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the Community Resource Center? I mean, you mentioned the Dress for Success and some of the after school. Oh, actually, you mentioned that you had a day school. Now, is this going to be like an accredited school or? Yes.
So what is called is a pandemic pod. So here locally, a lot of parents started coming together and saying, okay, we don't necessarily want our children in face-to-face full school, you know, but they know that virtual presents problems because you don't have that teacher present in the household that will allow them to be able to explain things or to give them that insight that they need. You know, a lot of parents, even myself, we're so far removed from school, you know, it's kind of hard to do what the children are doing now. You'd have to brush up and get yourself in tune. Then a lot of parents are working, of course, multiple jobs, trying to make ends meet. So it's very hard. So what a pandemic pod is when parents come together and hire teachers or certified reading specialists or math interventionists, and they have them in the home or the community centers or whatever, and have them basically doing the tutoring while they're still doing virtual classes. So what we have at the center now is a system to where we have certified teachers that will be coming in, helping a handful of students, not that many, but maybe 10 to 20, but helping them to be able to still have virtual classes in a private setting, having a certified teacher there present. So that's what's called a pandemic pod. That normally is going to run from 8 o'clock to 1 p.m. on Monday through Friday. So we'll be starting that soon.
Oh, that's good. That's a lot of time. That's a lot of time for it to be open. So I think that'll help a lot of people.
Right.
So as far as the Community Resource Center, I know we tried this before. Would you be able to show us any of it?
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't leave. So here, let me switch my camera over. Let me see. Let me switch my camera over. Hold on. Let's see. How do I switch my camera over? Did I switch it? No.
No, now it's just showing a little thing there.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, okay. Hold on. Start video. Oh, okay. Now I got it. So I'm out here now. This is our little boxing area, if you can see.
Nice.
Yeah, so a lot of the equipment is in my equipment room because I was about to end for the day. So, you know, we got the bags here, all of the bags.
You might have the next Adonis Creed coming out of there.
Absolutely. I got my little son is 3 years old, man, and he's swinging. He got a hard right overhand. He got a nice uppercut, and he's built to last. So this is where we do a lot of our work. Like I said, I put a lot of the equipment up for the day because I was leaving out. But yeah, they come out here, man. They get the box on. Man, we train. Man, brothers work out, jump roping, all of that. So this is kind of like our mini gym. So let me take you inside really quick. We cut on some lights real quick. All right. So this is the computer lab. And this is where the students are coming in, learning, getting on the computers. Boeing, the company Boeing donated us a lot of computers. I have a friend that works at Boeing, so Boeing actually did a lot for us as far as computers are concerned. You know, the airline company. So
that's
they
cool.
really,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Boeing helped us out a lot. And so the kids come in, it's the lab, looking good. So yeah, and hold on. So like we got like a little, we got, so this is like a little cafeteria area. When the children, before COVID, the children would come in. This is our little kitchen area. So they come in and they eat. We did a free breakfast and lunch program during the summer. This year we had to do it like a drive-through because
I see. For the social distancing.
Right, yeah. But normally the kids would come in, man. The kids would come in, they eat a little bit, and all of that good stuff. So, man, we've been working. I mean, we work really hard, and we love our connection with the community. I mean, people come by all day and get food and maybe try to jump on the computer and things like that. So it's very beneficial. And, you know, we just want to make sure that we can provide opportunity for those who really want something, and people who are under stress, we give them a hand up.
Good. You know, it seems like it's like every other day I see you doing like a live stream on Facebook about you guys feeding people. Like, it's a lot. So when you say you move 40 tons of food, yes. I'm not surprised at all, because it's like, it almost seems like it's every day you're out there, like,
right.
And people are coming and getting food, coming into the food pantry.
Yes.
Like that's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Now, we talked a little bit about your after school programs. Like for youth, you mentioned mentoring. Can you describe some of those a little bit more in depth, like how those work with kids that come in?
So we've been having a lot of success with boxing. Boxing, I found, has become one of the greatest means of attracting young people. We do have a conflict resolution course. I'm one of the instructors, and we just teach the kids how to basically think through their disputes. You know, we teach them not to make crucial decisions with their lives, because a lot of times we don't want people picking up the gun and shooting anybody. So right. we teach them methods on how to talk to responsible adults, how to swallow your pride, you know, how to, you know, think future instead of thinking for the moment, finding somebody who to trust. If there's any sort of problems, you know, we let the youth know, hey, y'all can call us anytime. It doesn't matter if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. We always are going to be on standby. That's very critical, because a lot of times we found kids can talk to somebody other than parents better a little bit. I think parents, we kind of hold our children to a higher standard, and they just feel more of the parental role versus the mentor role. So, which of course we work with parents, of course, but a lot of the young ladies who bring their sons and daughters, and especially their sons, you know, they feel more comfortable with speaking to us for some reason versus the mother. So, you know, you want to make sure you're always accessible. We talk to them about social media discipline, being able to control your emotions. One of the young kids told me, man, this was a while back, and I really thought about it. I was like, man, you're right. So we were kind of talking about what attracts girls, you know, especially like our 14, 15, what attracts girls. And one of the boys said, man, Shakem, you know what? No, because I was like, man, you know, the girls, they want the guys with the Gucci belts and, you know, selling a little reefer and all of that. They want that. And he said, man, Shakem, they don't want that no more. So I was like, they don't want that no more? What you mean? He said, man, the girls want the shooters. You know what I'm saying? They want the guys who, you know, the shooters, who got the guns, who, you know, got bodies, who pull the pistol out on you. So I'm like, woo, man, it done got dangerous. So, you know, I'm just thinking back when I was young, you know what I'm saying? The girls wanted the bling bling. Yeah, the bling and the flash. And he like, nah, man, Shakem, the girls nowadays, they want the shooters. I'm like, whoa. Like, man, that's kind of a different paradigm shift. But, you know, so we kind of talk about that. And we talk about staying from those, you know, abstaining from those type of women. You know, if you got a young girl, find a brilliant girl. I was telling them, you know, when I was in high school, you know, the guys who we used to pick on, call them nerds, saying, "Oh man, y'all guys on the porch." Now we friends on Facebook. These guys are engineers and doctors and lawyers. I mean, they like, you know, you like, man, this dude was a nerd in school. Now, man, this guy is a aeronautics designer at Boeing. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, man, this is so, you know, so we kind of really tell them our life experiences in hopes that they don't go through the same things that we did, and try to, you know, show them the roadblocks to where they need to like jump around or go around and help them. So mentoring to us has become basically fatherhood, you know, fatherhood in another way. So it's pretty cool. You learn a lot, you know.
That makes sense. And so that kind of leads into my next question. I mean, obviously the city that you live in is predominantly Black, right? So what do you think of, so what do you think are the most important needs for Black youth in your particular city? Well, like you mentioned mentorship, and I'm sure there are others.
Right. So in mentorship, so what's needed, right, are hands-on trades and skills. And I think, so one of the things that we are trying to push really hard are matching up people's gifts and talents, the young boys, with other businessmen and women who are doing the same thing in the community that they want to do. So just say we got a little boy say, man, I want to cut hair. Okay, so I got three people, 3 brothers and 2 sisters who own beauty and barbershops. So we're going to take them to the barbershop and talk to them on how to get their license, how to open up a barbershop, how to be a nail tech, have them sit with them and discuss these things. That's what keeps their interest. You got another guy who might be good at working on cars. So you say, hey, man, so, you know, we got a brother who owns a car mechanic shop. So we take that young boy and we match him up with somebody who owns a mechanic shop or does auto body or anything. So I think the basic thing in mentorship that's missing is us being able to match their skills with people who are already in those particular fields and who are already successful. And I think once we can do that fast, we don't have to too much rely on the school system to do it, because we've already taken a step to do it ourselves.
Yeah, what I like about that, well, there's a lot of things I like about that. Just that little bit right there, like the focus, I like how the focus basically leads into entrepreneurship, right? I mean, if somebody, like say if you have a guy who's a plumber and somebody's interested in going in that field, and they can kind of learn the trade and maybe start their own business. And that's something that's very important. And that's one of the main things that I think the Black community needs just in general. But I like the fact that they can, you know, go into something and see if they like it, and maybe if they do, then they can learn from it, or, you know, maybe speak with somebody else, and it kind of gives them a chance to kind of figure out what their gifts are, because that's also part of the process too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I think, you know, by us doing that, it will stop, or not even stop, it's going to grow a lot of human potential in those children, because that's ultimately my goal of being a mentor, is to grow human potential within those children. And if we can grow and develop it and plant that seed and put them with the right people who are doing the right things, then they'll grow. A lot of times what happens with mentors, the children aren't really interested in a lecture. You know what I'm saying? Lectures are good, but that's not really what drives them. You know, they want to do things like have Madden tournaments. They want to do things like have Fortnite tournaments. You know, you get a group of children, I mean, just giving them a lecture on, I did this back in the day and I was this back in the day. Okay, yeah, but you got to really, the mentorship has to really focus on them and what they like to do to keep their attention. Because I've been in situations to where I've seen children say, man, I don't like my mentor. It happens a lot. They don't like their mentor, you know. If they want to play ball, take the little youth to shoot some hoops. If they want to go swimming, take them swimming. You know, but just lecturing them in a building is synonymous to taking them to church, and they're like, yo, man, I done heard the story about Noah's Ark 50 times. I don't want to hear it anymore. You know, I've already heard about, you know, Jacob's ladder 100 times. Like, they don't really want to hear it. So you don't want to make it repetitive. You want to make it activity-oriented, and you want to make it something that sparks their interest. And I think that's the critical piece that's missing in a lot of this.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting that you bring that up, because I've always read that, especially for young boys, to really connect with them, it's not going to happen through conversation. That's how females connect. But as far as
Right.
men and boys, they connect by doing something together or engaging in an activity, whether it's building something or like you were saying. So I like that you're focused on that aspect of it, because I think that might be something that some might be missing.
Right.
Yeah. So as far as your local government, you kind of touched on that earlier. What's the relationship like with your local government there in North Charleston?
Well, it's up and down a lot of times. You know, I think I got a lot of good connections and good bonds with a lot of good people who understand our vision and have the same vision themselves. They may not have the time, so they do what they can in order to help us to build the relationships and the connections in the community. I think a lot of the people who I work with have been very awesome in assisting us and just asking us, hey, what do the children need? What can we do? And, you know, giving us the tools that we need to be able to, you know, bring the kids in. So I get a lot of support from local government. Of course, there are people who, you know, hold the fact that I'm a conservative. They get a little leery, like, oh man, you know, these conservatives. But at the end of the day, I think it's more of a fear that you have a young black man who's a conservative, who's always in the community, who connects with people more than somebody who has a different political ideology. I think that causes a lot of consternation because they feel that I'm more of a threat than somebody who they can work with. So when people put political agendas first, I think that's where the fear factor comes in. But other than that, I mean, I work very well with a lot of people in local government, Democrat, Republican, whatever the case may be. They see the vision, and I think the shared vision is something that overrides a lot of the party lines and the political ideologies that people, you know, want to put out there versus actual real community building.
Yeah, and I'm glad that that's taken precedence over politics. I mean, you see kids who are hungry or who need a hand up, like you said. Right. I mean, that's not really left or right. I mean, there are people on the left who can understand and want to actually help with that, and then people like you who are more on the right, same thing. So I'm glad that, I mean, I think we always get the impression that everybody's just so divided, and there is a lot of that exists. But I found that, you know, on the ground level, just regular people, those issues might come up, but it doesn't override basic humanity. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so what about like you mentioned, like the police earlier? What kind of a relationship does the senator have with the police, and how do they kind of figure into that?
Law enforcement has done a wonderful help. During the pandemic, we started, our food bank. We started feeding like thousands of people every week, and I got a good relationship with the current police chief, the current sheriff. I picked up the phone and I called him and I said, listen, we need manpower. You know, we got all this food. We need trucks. We need trailers. And they provided everything. I mean, they really did. Yes, they really did step up. And, you know, one of the things, you know, a lot of the detractors, you know, they would say, oh man, you know, y'all Negroes working with the police and this and that and this and that. But the funny thing about it is those detractors, you know, I would look and their grandmother be coming, you know, their honor be coming, you know, so they would utter these foolish things, but then their parents and their friends and their families would come to the center and benefit from the food drives and the things that we're doing. So it was almost like hypocritical and laughable that, you know, you could make such disparaging remarks because we decided to work with law enforcement, but then, you know, the people that are closer to you, they're benefiting. You know, the community overall is benefiting. So like I said, I mean, everybody has detractors, right? So, I mean, really, give or take, it really doesn't matter. But law enforcement has really helped us, and being able to speak with them and be able to communicate is something that's beneficial because, you know, we have a lines of communication. So if there's something that goes wrong, we can talk to them. You know, if there's something with community policing that we feel is broken, we can talk to them, and they'll listen. I can call, they'll listen. You know, they recept vary because they know that we're really trying to work and we're there. So even though we might not agree on everything, because nobody agrees on everything, that's just human nature. But at the end of the day, you need people who are able to articulate the needs of the people and be respected in doing such. You know, because the people who scream, oh, F12 and this and that, and you know, all of that, they don't really listen to them because their message is cut off because of the way that they handle themselves when trying to articulate the message. So, you know, us working with them on a day-to-day basis, week-to-week basis, really has an effect on how we can address the needs of community when things go wrong.
Gotcha. And a real quick note to my audience, when somebody says F12, 12 is the police. So if you hear somebody say F12, they're saying F the police.
Exactly.
But just for those who may not know, because sometimes I get questions. But I mean, it's just interesting. I mean, because you have that relationship with law enforcement where they're coming out and helping to feed people, but you never hear about these stories at all. I mean, does local media ever cover any of that?
Well, local media does. Not all the time, but I do have a relationship with the media to where if something was going on and I think that we need to cover a story, they'll come out. Yeah, they'll come out.
Good. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And see, the thing is, sometimes, you know, when you are talking to local media or somebody from the media, you got to bring that up. You know, you got to let that be known. Like, listen, you cover so much garbage. And they didn't just come because they wanted to come, but I've had scathing attacks against them before and brought up these things and, you know, really let it be known that, hey, you know, you can't be so lopsided. There's something good that's coming. You need to cover it. And they've been very receptive. But I think it was only after I began to really, really bang and tell them, hey, listen, this is what you need to cover. Now they usually come.
That's good. And I can tell you, as somebody who's in the media, it always feels better to cover a story that's positive. I mean, because I have to write so much about so much negativity and this or that. But when I can find a positive story to write about, I'm going to jump on that. And the thing is, the audience loves it too, because I mean, I've had people make comments saying, you know, thank you for putting the story up there of something positive that's happening. So it's kind of sad that, I mean, a lot of outlets don't do more of it, but you know, I mean, if it bleeds, it leads. So I mean, that's just a situation. Right.
Most definitely.
Yeah. So you kind of alluded to this before, but I mean, I know you do a lot of different work with a lot of different people, and most of them are Democrats. So I mean, you kind of brushed over this before, or at least touched on a little bit. But when it comes to people outside of government, like other people in the community, like I see you have Elvin on your show all the time. You guys are tight.
Yeah.
He's more of a Democrat. But in general, is that how much of an obstacle is that really? I mean, being a black Republican doing work in that area.
Well, so with my friends, you know, the circle that I built is a wonderful circle, and we can talk politics, disagree, and still take a shot at Hennessy at the end of the day, you know. And I think that's real cool. I don't lose friends over politics. You know, we might hash it out, laugh, hash it out, you know. But at the end of the day, my biggest thing was getting a circle of people who have understanding, and they put the vision before the politics. So, like I said, I got a lot of Democrat friends, Republican friends, and sometimes we support, one might support this candidate, one might support this candidate. But at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter because, you know, we have the same vision, and maybe there might be somebody that I can't reach that they can reach. Maybe it's somebody I can reach he can't reach. Maybe it's somebody she can reach that I can't reach. So we look at it as being a cesspool of opportunity to be able to expand our audience and to be able to expand our influence in the community versus having a closed fist fight. A lot of activists and organizations have started fight clubs, and all they do is fight each other. Yeah, that's it. They got fight clubs. They don't have nonprofit organizations. They got a fight club. You know what I'm saying? They fighting this activist group. They fighting that activist group. You would think you was watching an MMA, you know, pre-fight warm up. How much they fight each other. So you'd be like, man, you know, they do these press conferences attacking each other and fighting each other, and they're on Facebook doing Facebook lives attacking each other. You'd be like, man, I thought this was an activist group or community group. You know, y'all acting like this is, you know, Mayweather and Madonna Part 3 or something. You know, now y'all fighting with pre-fight warm-ups. So it's just comical at times. So, you know, one of the things that I felt that was one thing I thought that it was imperative for me to move on Yeah, I think my mom just tried to call me, so I had to end the call.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what buzzed in. So one of the things I think that was imperative for me to do in order to elevate and take it to the next level was to get friends who understood that our vision together more powerful than. No, that's her. She keep buzzing. I keep hanging up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She'll get the picture in a minute. But yeah, our vision together is more powerful than any political lines.
Gotcha. So let me ask you this. I mean, I'm not going to do too much on politics. I wanted to really focus on the work that you're doing there. But
Hey, you can do anything. I'm all here.
Yeah.
I'm all here.
So yeah, so yeah, I mean, you've been in that community for decades, like you said. I mean,
Yes.
how often? I mean, when it comes to the local level or even state level, I mean, how often do you see Republicans coming in to see if they can win some votes?
Never.
Not
Never.
even a little bit.
Not even a little. I'm basically trying to introduce that concept now. I'm trying to get them to look at some of the areas of opportunity that we have in the Black community where they can come in with a real plan and say, listen, we can create opportunities by doing A, B, C, D, and E. And I want them to be able to see that, you know, you have a chance to get your message out there. And if you're really sincere and you're ready to vote in a certain way to implement certain things, they will have your back. So I want them to feel more comfortable with, you know, being able to stand up and say, you know what, hey, this particular community has a gift or a talent that we can help expand by certain legislation that's going to create opportunity in the area. So I'm trying to get them to see that. And the people who don't, I think.
And you're talking about your local GOP, or are you talking about other people, or
local?
Okay.
The locals. Yeah, local GOP people who run in. Okay. And then if we can't accomplish it, then we just have to get people to run against them. So it's either going to be one or the other.
Right. Yeah.
I thought about taking a couple of them out myself. You know what I'm saying? Putting on I got my Suge Knight hat on. So you know, if they don't want to do us right, then you know I'm gonna have to start recruiting, and then we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah, good. I mean, because the thing is, I mean, and I talk about that, but I mean, you're already doing things without government to benefit your community. But I mean, you know, government is important. And I was just a little bit ago, I was talking to a guy named Giovanni Patterson, who's running for city council in Baltimore, Black Republican, and he's telling me about some of his experiences. And for him, I mean, he's got an uphill climb, right? I mean, any Republican running in a city like that has got an uphill climb. Yeah. But he talked about how a lot of people were really receptive to what he was saying, and the fact that he was a Republican didn't really put him off. So I mean, that was encouraging. So I would think that it would be the same in other areas as well.
Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle, but I think the GOP is going to realize sooner or later that the current model that they're operating under, in a large sense, is not going to be sustainable in the future. You know, you can't just focus on this one demographic, this one, you know, ideology, this one type of, you know, these one particular set of talking points to get you through. Eventually, it's going to have to go through a structure of revising or revision. It's going to have to expand. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, you're right, and that's what I'm trying to get a lot of people to see. I mean, I think the rank and file people, a lot of them get it. I mean, when I talk to them about it, they're like, yeah. I mean, if you ask like the regular rank and file Republican, like 98% of them are going to say, yes, I would like to see more Black people and even other minorities come over to our side. But I think the tough part is when it comes to the GOP itself, whether it's the national, state, or local parties. They haven't quite figured this out yet. I mean, I have a lot of theories about that, but I won't talk about it right now. But but they haven't figured that out yet. That basically they will become obsolete if they don't change the strategy.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's. I think November is going to be a big wake up call. You know, I'm still I'm still watching with a keen eye. But I think November is going to be a big wake up call for the GOP. I think you and I kind of understand. We're just waiting to have that moment where we say, you know what, I told you so.
Yeah. I mean, and I think that, regardless of how it turns out, I mean, there is going to be a message sent. I mean, there are a lot of different possibilities, but I think every single one of those possibilities will have a lesson for the GOP, especially when it comes to the Black community. I mean, I'm hoping that they're ready for it. I think there are certain indications that show me that they are, but then there's others that kind of make me feel like, oh, we might still have a way to go. But I think, I mean, at some point they have to figure it out.
Yeah. Definitely right.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you coming on. I'm going to put a link to your stuff in the show notes, but if you could tell them where to reach you on social media. Right.
So our website, first and foremost, is www.crcnorthcharleston.com. You go to our website, you can see all of the things we do. Explains a lot of things. I have a donate link there. You can donate. Man, we do a lot of wonderful work. You can see it for yourself. Social medias, Shakem Amen Akhet, Twitter, Shakem Akhet, and Instagram, Shakem Akhet. But our community center, we do have a Facebook page. I didn't set up a Twitter and Instagram yet, but our Facebook page is Community Resource Center, North Charleston. That's our Facebook page. Come on there, Hey, well, I'm always open to feedback too. If there's anything that you think that I can do better or we can do better to make our community better, please let me know. I'm open to positive feedback. That's how we grow. That's how we, continue to have a stronghold in the community. So I'm more than welcome to a lot of positive feedback. I just want to make sure that, I'm doing the best that I can to help provide opportunities for people. Matter of fact, every Wednesday too, during our food drive, we have a staffing agency, and they come in and they hire people. They give jobs. So every Wednesday, they got their truck out. You could come right there, boom, get a job on site. So we wanted to do that. We wanted to have our goal was to have a good mixture of not only social programs, but educational programs and programs that can provide job training. So we wanted to have a good mixture. So if somebody comes, like we got a diaper bank. So maybe a woman comes, she might want diapers. She might say, hey man, it's rough out here. Okay, so I have somewhere where I can help you to get a job. You can find employment. Your children can come in, they can use the computer. So we wanted to have it to where it's a well-rounded operation and it doesn't lean too much in one direction. And I think by us being multidimensional and multifaceted, it gives us that competitive edge in the community because we can provide things. We're not just solely focused on one particular dynamic.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I like about it, because I think at the end of the day, people want to work, and they don't want to have to go to a food pantry all the time. It's one thing if you're just going to do it temporarily while you get back on your feet, but I'm glad that you're so well-rounded that you can say, hey, if you need here's some food, and while you're at it, if you're looking for employment, we've got other ways to help you with that. I mean, because that's what people want. They want to be able to buy their own food. They want to be able to have time to volunteer and help other people who are in this situation. So I think that is incredibly important. And it's I mean, it's just an awesome thing that you're doing. I mean, there are other organizations that I've seen do that in other areas, but I think yours is kind of unique in that regard, that you provide a more of a, like you said, like a holistic solution for issues that might be going on in the community.
Right. Absolutely. Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, Jeff. Well, hey man, I appreciate you for having me on. I really love when I can highlight the positive things that we do. It makes me feel good. And I learned a long time ago, you do what makes you happy. And I think this is what makes me happy. And I love to do what I do. And I think when a person operates in their gift, it brings you that joy and happiness. So regardless of any sort of the naysayers, and people didn't think that I could do this, but this is my lane, this is my gift. So by me operating in my gift, it really kind of makes it hard for somebody to come and, it doesn't really work. So find out what you're good at, Find out what you want to do. Encourage the young people around you. Listen to them. Encourage them. Talk to them. Just do whatever you can. And I think we can make this world a better place while we're here on earth. And I think the biggest thing for me is leaving a legacy that somebody can actually inherit and say, you know what, this is what Shakem built, and this is what inspired me to do what I want to do.
That's awesome. That's powerful. I couldn't have thought of a better way to end it, but keep doing what you're doing, and we're going to have you back on. I mean, because there's going to be a lot of other conversations we need to have, though. But thanks again for coming on. I'll holler at you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Big J. All right.